Okay, it's time for Fast Five. Let's get started with our first topic. We now have a gay man leading a branch of the military. Do we care?
We don't care.
No, not really.
I don't care.
That's fine.
I want someone to get the job done.
That's right.
And your personal life is irrelevant with national
I
security.
couldn't agree more, and that's all we got to say about that one. Let's limit that to the time that it deserves. Nobody cares. License to blow. Blow drying hair as a business now requires a license in Maryland. What?
But it's less. There's a lesser hour requirement than a regular cosmetology license.
Right, I
Actually,
understand
but-
that.
So it
How many
actually makes
hours
it
should you
easier.
have to learn? How many hours should you have to spend learning how to blow dry hair?
It is complicated.
It is?
Jim.
Two things.
It's
two
very
things.
complicated.
I would say, first of all, and I obviously cannot comment on a complication. However, blow dryers are a horrible fire hazard as well, and I think a lot of that training focuses on safety.
Is that why you shaved your
But
head?
don't we have
Colin?
fire codes
Safety.
that cover that?
For safety first.
Don't we have fire codes that cover that? You know, building codes.
We do.
Electrical codes.
So,
But-
You know, a license is when the government takes away one of your rights
Oh.
and then makes you pay to get it back.
That's why you have
So libertarian.
You have the
All
license to
right.
blow.
coming up next, Rocky Horror Picture Show revival coming soon to a TV near you. Now, guys, when I was in high school and my first year of college, actually, I worked at a movie theater. And the worst experience I ever had was the Rocky Horror Picture Show, because there are things you do, and they literally destroy the screen in the theater in the process of showing the Rocky Horror Picture Show. You can really only show it once, then you have to go and replace the screen, and it takes days to clean up the theater. But that's another. So why? I don't know that it'll have the same cult following on a TV show.
Oh, I mean,
Am I
TV
wrong?
sales may go through the roof.
It
but-
sounds awful, and if it's on cable TV, I don't want my kids watching that.
It's
have
not
to say-
necessarily bad stuff, but there's a place where it rains and everybody sprays water and you put an umbrella up in the theater. It's crazy.
Now, what, I have to say this,
crazy.
and you know, I grew up during that period of time where you had some people who were really into it, and some people like me that just couldn't stand it.
I was
have no
I was
clue
ambivalent.
why anybody was into it. to
I
that
didn't
level.
understand, but I know that at the theater where I worked, there were lines down the street
Why?
to
Yeah,
see
you-
this thing.
Monty Python, Pink Floyd, The Wall. Those are movies that you can see, or A Clockwork Orange. Those are movies that are cult classics, and I can see why.
Right.
The Rocky Horror Picture Show is horrible.
It's so bad
Pun
that
intended.
people love it.
It is horrible. It really is. And you're right. And Clockwork Orange, you struck a chord with me with that one, because that's one of my favorites, as well as a little known one, Heavy Metal. Do you remember that?
Absolutely.
That movie?
That was a great movie.
It was a great movie, but this one just never did anything for me, and
Stanley
I can't
Kubrick.
imagine it's going to have the same effect on TV that it did, because you can't destroy anything. So, and these people, you know, the people that watched it back then are all, 60-year-old,
Aging hippies.
Still aging hippies. I didn't want to say that, but thank you for bringing that in. Okay, school system moving to operate Children's Village. What do we think about that?
So first of all, I believe the school system's already partially funding Children's Village. Is that correct?
I don't know.
I think so. And I think that the reason that they're looking to move to completely operate is because Children's Village has been having problems
It's losing money
raising
left and right,
funding.
yeah.
So that's really what it comes down to is, you know, here we have this wonderful community service,
I was going to say,
but nobody donates to it.
can anybody argue that this is a great resource for
Oh,
our?
it is an absolutely wonderful
You know,
resource.
there's an official version of what we call Children's Village called Safety Town, and it's a thing where you have to pay annually to use the license. It's a franchise of sorts, and Children's Village was the brainchild of I don't know whether he's still around town or not, but there was a guy named Mike Weller who was on the fire in the fire department, and just an amazing, committed guy, and it was his brainchild, and I'm glad to see that they're taking it over.
When honestly, I believe that Children's Village will probably become irrelevant once we have Trump Youth, and everybody will have the ability to join in and wear the little red armband, and then they'll have all the services they need.
In all seriousness, too, if second graders
We're
in
talking
Washington County
serious?
are going to if it's benefiting Washington County, children who are in Washington County public schools, I mean, shouldn't the school system pay for some
Well,
of
I
it,
think
right?
there were some surrounding areas that come as well, and maybe they pay different rates because they're not in the area. But bottom line is, I think it's a great thing, and it sounds like you do too, because this is not about me, right? The city of Hagerstown is looking to do red light cameras. What do we think
Good.
about that?
They want to get that extra revenue.
Well, in all fairness, and having moved to Hagerstown from somewhere other than Hagerstown, where people actually abide by traffic laws,
This is true.
I think running a red light is several degrees of magnitude worse than speeding, going 10 miles over the speed limit in a school zone when school's not in session. I would love to see lines or cameras that catch the people that don't know how to use a turn lane, which have, or the
Or
people
turn
that,
signal.
or the turn signal, or the people who parallel park next to an
Yeah.
open spot.
Well, you know, and I have no problem with the red light cameras as long as they're enforced properly, and they don't like start shortening the yellow light just to get increased revenue, which some cities in Maryland have
They
done.
absolutely have done
Technically, you have to be past the center of the intersection when the light turns red in order to get a ticket.
that. You have to be past the.
The center of the intersection.
Okay. All right. That's not according to my understanding, but you'll get the last word on that. Up next, it's Last Call. Stay with us. We'll be back in 3 minutes.